A year from now, you will wish you had started. Unknown. Happy New Year! 2021 is here. It's exciting to enter a new year. I always think of this time of year as a kind of reset, a time to visualize the upcoming year and set goals. On this episode, we're going to talk about how to create your own stimulus check. No, not counterfeit, a real one that you can depend on. Welcome to the Stitch for Success podcast. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, daughter, entrepreneur, author, friend, and lifelong learner. For over 8 years, I was trapped in corporate America and dreamed of escaping. I took the leap over 15 years ago, retiring from corporate. With just $700 and an idea, over the years we have grown multiple six-figure and seven-figure brands. I have mentored and employed dozens of other people along the way. The road has not been easy. I have battle wounds, bruises, and scars to prove it. And on this podcast, I share lessons learned from my failures and successes. You will also learn from other business owners who have become stitched for success as they pursue their entrepreneurial passions. My goal and hope for you is that you can learn from our mistakes and our wins and have an extremely successful business that stands the test of time. I know last week I mentioned that this would be a rewind episode, but I changed my mind after this week's events. Over the past few months here in the U.S., there has been much debate about additional stimulus and unemployment benefits for Americans. This week, legislators finally signed a bill to provide additional stimulus to Americans, many who have paid into the tax system for years. Well, one of the reasons I started this podcast was to help entrepreneurs grow and be successful despite the hurdles and missteps we face. After watching the last few days play out, I want to show you how to create your own stimulus in the future. Why put the state of your future into the hands of legislators who don't know you? And sometimes I wonder if some of them even care. Now, that is not to be meant to be a political statement. This question can be posed on both sides of the aisle. I'm of the belief that everyone should have a side hustle. I own 2 businesses, but my interior design business has been my side hustle for over 10 years. I don't desire to do it full time, but it brings additional income to my family each year. Season 2 of the podcast will start this month. I will continue to bring you conversations with entrepreneurs that have overcome challenges to form successful businesses. In addition, I am working on something that will either give you a side hustle if you don't have one or help you make your side hustle your main hustle, because we do not need to be dependent on the government to provide us a stimulus check. We need to create our own stimulus. We need to prepare for the future, so if another event like this pandemic happens, we are better prepared. We have reserves. We have a backup source of income, and we have a backup to the backup. We can no longer just depend on a job to take care of us for years and years to come. As a business owner, I plan on doing my best to keep my team members engaged and employed. But in all honesty, each of my team members have their own side hustle, and I'm quite okay with that. They are creative. They bring that creativity to work each day, but they also put it out in the world in other ways. That actually makes me proud. So let's talk steps to creating your own stimulus. Number 1, get your mind right. Entrepreneurship is not easy, but it can be very rewarding. You will have to put in some extra hours. As Dave Ramsey says, if you will live like no one else, later you can live like no one else. And I truly believe that. Number 2, assess your skills, especially if you have a full-time job already. What are some skills that you have that you can offer outside of your work hours? Is it something you can offer online? Is there a product you can offer? Do you make jewelry? Create unique art, cups, apps? The list goes on and on. There's so much talent in the world. What is something that you can do outside of your normal work hours? Number 3, be open and willing to learn. If you're listening to this podcast, I think you may already have this one down. Learn all you can about starting a business or growing your business so you can create additional revenue to save and make your own stimulus for any future unexpected happenings. Now, these are the 3 steps that I think are required to begin creating your own stimulus. Of course, there is much more to starting a business, and that is one of the things that I'm working on. I want to help make it easier for people to start businesses and make it easier for you to maintain and grow your business. So you'll hear more about that later. If you already own a business too, please check out the 10 Secrets to Small Business Success in 2020. It's an ebook that is free. It's available for download at the Stitch for Success website. I wrote this book because these are the things that I really feel helped us remain successful during 2020. Despite COVID, we are literally right there from our numbers for 2019. Of course, this podcast was recorded a little before the end of the year, so I'm not quite exactly sure of what our final numbers are, but we are very, very close, and I'm thinking we may have even surpassed 2019, but I'll know more about that next week. But this book holds the 10 secrets, so go visit stitchforsuccess.com and download your free copy today. I'm excited for this year. I truly appreciate you joining me today. If you have not already, please subscribe to the podcast and invite a friend along for this entrepreneurial ride. You can communicate and follow me on Instagram at Stitch for Success. There's also now a Facebook group of the same name. I would love if you would join the group. If you have any questions or thoughts, email me at stitchforsuccess@gmail.com. And don't forget to go download the free ebook from the website, stitchforsuccess.com. Let's get this party started and grow our own stimulus checks. Always a pleasure to have you listen in. Have a great one.